All right, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Justin Ang, the Assistant Chief Executive at IMDA, heading the Media and Innovations Group, as well as the Communications and Marketing Division. Justin, please.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Justin, and I'm Assistant CEO at IMDA. And at IMDA, I have kind of three main roles. I look after the media industry, which oversees media end-to-end, from our traditional broadcast and film to new media that we're looking at, social media here, as well as our public service broadcast responsibilities. I look after the innovation and tech ecosystem, which is really about how we grow and scale tech startups here in Singapore and within the ecosystem. And I also double hat as the CMO of IMDA. So we also use creators like yourself in some of our campaigns. And it's a real pleasure to be among you this morning. I want to thank Evangeline and our partnership with Kobe in helping to put this wonderful conference together, and hope you all will benefit every step of the way. And so I'm just going to take a few minutes to share a few perspectives of our thoughts around the development of media in the last few years. In many ways, I think I'm preaching to the choir. You guys live it, breathe it. I think Evangeline said how you guys are the innovators that have pushed boundaries over the last decade or more. So I won't belabor too much, but I just wanted to share a quick video that tells all of you a bit more about what IMDA does in this area of media.
Singapore, home to a thriving, globally connected media industry. Recognized for its numerous award-winning productions.
Saya memilih, I didn't come here to be bullied.
Where dreams are shaped and turned into reality by passion.
要是游过去，就可以离开这儿。
We make stories that matter. About Singapore and about the world. Sometimes we do so with other storytellers around the world. And we showcase these outstanding stories and storytellers at local and international media events. In a way that connects the world and Singaporeans. As the architect of Singapore's digital future, the Infocom Media Authority of Singapore helps the media industry to seize opportunities in the growing digital economy. We build on our strengths and that of others to nurture tomorrow's storytellers and ensure that our media workforce is always ready to meet global demand. We find new ways to tell our stories, to bloom and thrive beyond the limits of our physical boundaries, to be defined only by our imagination. Singapore, where ideas are anything but small, and the future, limitless.
Yeah, so I think obvious to all of us, media has undergone significant change over the last few years, and in the past we often just look at traditional media, broadcast, production, film, games, but I think we all know the span and scope of digitalization and how that has changed, and of course the growth of the platform economy, whether is it a Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or Discord, all of these have shaped our lives day in, day out, ever since. And with that, what drives it really, we've all seen, is this democratization of content creation. Basically, anybody can be a creator. All of you here, online, and many more across Singapore, every day is just creating more and more content. And what really fuels it, and we saw this front and center during the pandemic, is this demand for personalized content and what I would probably describe as the growth of the long tail. It means that anybody content could be appealing to somebody somewhere all around the world. And with that, whether short form, long form, live streaming, or otherwise, has great growth potential. But it's also made it much, much more complex. As creators, I think it's great. Suddenly, in the past, if you film yourself, I don't know, cooking your breakfast, how can you make money from it? But today, it could be a real job, right? It's made it great for creators like yourself. But within the media industry, it means that revenue streams are much more diversified, much more complex, and it's harder for both companies and individuals to find their place, and even for the platforms, as you all will hear probably sometime during the conference as well, right? So while it has lots of opportunities, but it's about how you find your way to navigate and monetize along the way. And with that, I thought I'd show a quick snapshot of what users in Singapore are doing, right? So this is data that we have around digital consumption in Singapore. And if you look across the snapshot, really what dominates is digital media. And that's defined by video, audio. Almost 30%. That's what Singapore users are doing day in, day out. And that's why most of the creators are obviously in the video space. Right? And then, of course, we have communication, which we know largely dominated by WhatsApp or Messenger and others. And then social networking, which are really our social apps. And that gives us a certain picture, but when we break it down by demographic, we can start to see, again, this fragmentation that is at play with all that we do, right? The top apps in Singapore, I think, no surprises, and where advertising dollars are going to, including some of the smaller ones like the new OTTs. But when you look across the age bands, you will see clearly, well, as we all know, the slightly older people like myself probably resonate more with Facebook and YouTube. And the younger folks are very IG and TikTok driven, right? And that becomes very, very clear. And as I said, it's great because there's now content available for everyone, and it's great to be able to know that actually you are able to find a specific audience that you are targeting, whether as a creator or a brand, but it also becomes increasingly hard for both brands and creators if you want to reach a wide range of audiences. You now need to pivot demographics, audiences, platforms, and capabilities. And the heart of all of this is you guys. You guys are the heart of the creator economy to really connect, to engage. Your voice is the one that builds a connection with your fans, your followers, and produces this shared identity so that they listen to you, want to keep following you, and whatever voices that you provide to areas of concern, social issue, they will also latch on. But the reality is that we all know as technology, the landscape continues to evolve, so will your need of storytelling. Last year, I had the chance of being in a room in person with Mr. Beast, which you all, I assume, would know. And he's one of my son's favorite creators, and he, I think, really revolutionized the concept of extravagant gift life, right? Walking down the street and here's $10,000, like, or here, I give you a Tesla, right? Whichever. But that is a wonderful example of the new formats, techniques that you guys will continually have to grapple with in order to maintain your hold on your followers. And beyond formats, techniques, right? This conference will touch a little bit about that, whether in the Web3 space, metaverse, AR, VR, live streams, all of you will need to pivot along the way. And because of that, you guys continue to provide that growth within the wider creator economy. Brands are indistinguishable within that as well. Many of you over time will be approached by the brands, work through an agency like Kobe, but over time you all will have to find your voice and to figure out which brands work for you. And in our role at IMDA, we are passionate about helping Singaporeans find a greater voice in the online space, to grab our share of online advertising dollars, obviously, and continue to figure out how do we anchor value in Singapore. Because if it's not your voice, then it's somebody else's voice out there, whether from Malaysia or Philippines or Indonesia. Because, as I said, there's this enormous demand out there, and if you are not creating content to fill that demand, then someone else will. And so we've spent over the last 1 to 2 years, probably more behind the scenes, figuring out how do we help creators in Singapore sort of unravel the science in a certain way. You know, we've done partnerships over the last year or two with the likes of YouTube and TikTok just to see, right? For example, which are the top genres that really make money, right? Which are the ones that are really exportable? If you translate your videos to another language, can you make money? Which markets? How far can it go, right? So, and of course, our partnership with Kobe, with this conference, is again trying to help our creators in Singapore to discover their voice, understand better how they can monetize. Specifically with Kobe, and what we hope to achieve with this conference, right, is hopefully to help you guys improve the way you engage with brands, know better how to pitch to them, understand multi-platform content as well as presence. You know, there are a lot of agencies globally now that just help creators move their content from one platform to the other. And it's not the same as just repost the same thing, as you all will know, right? But there are a lot of nuances, algorithms that you have to figure out, monetization methodologies. All right, as well as obviously understanding your audiences better and creating your personality. And sort of to wrap up, the other key mandate we have is how do we help to reach and engage Singaporeans, you know, through quality content. And part of that is us working in the last, you know, few years to, you know, work with whether long or short form content to continue to promote things that are important to us, right? Which are social values, you know, racial, religious harmony, the Singapore identity, and how do we build an engaged and informed society? Because at the end of the day, guys, the power is in your hands, right? And you have a choice to either make it positive, uplifting, encouraging to the followers that watch your content, or you can be a negative rant, and I'm sure that sells online as well. I'm just doing my part, and I would like to encourage you, you know, to be positive, because in your hands is the power to shape social fabric for good, right? So I hope we all can continue to bring a positive message out there. You know, all of you, well, not all of you, but many of you are Singaporeans, so I would encourage to continually share, you know, what it means to be a Singaporean. Let your followers know, right, what life is like here, and continue to share about, you know, what makes us Singaporean. So with that, you know, the road ahead is going to be always evolving, always changing. You know, who knows, tomorrow YouTube Shorts won't pay you any money. I don't know. But, you know, you guys will continue to need to adapt, change, you know, work with the likes of Kobe, because they are on the forefront of what's changing, and they are constantly thinking about how to work with you to monetize and to create the way forward. So with that, thank you very much. Hope you have a wonderful conference ahead. Cheers.